Hey there, friends. Welcome to another video from the basement. Poor lighting, down and dirty, but just some short, very candid videos I wanted to create for you guys. This is part of our first series on people that are new to Pathways or maybe new to paganism. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was to have a small conversation when people come into the store and they're new to paganism and they say, "Where do I start? I don't know where to start." So I want to give you just some tips really quick, not a big long video. So one of the first tips that I have for you is to start paying attention to nature at large. Um, Paganism and a lot of these spiritual traditions are very old. Their roots are very old, and they come from a time before clocks, before the internet, before cell phones. Thanks for cell phones, so we can record videos like these. But I'd encourage you to start paying attention to nature. A lot of these traditions are rooted in what's called agrarian practices. So they follow the cycles of the sun, the moon, the stars. It all goes back to, like, if we're going to eat, what sprouts, what grows, the harvest season, and very importantly, the time when everything rests, when the fields are fallow. We have to have that rest cycle in between. So I would encourage you to start by paying attention to nature, whether it's like maybe you're an early riser and you open your window and take a big, deep breath of fresh air and you watch the sun come up. Or maybe you watch the sun go down or the stars in the sky, or you watch the animals or the birds. But like as we quiet ourselves and we take all of this in to our brains, our little human brains, as it were, there are these gifts of these profound moments of silence, these profound gifts of messages, like when we watch how animals react to different things. You will be surprised. It sounds a little woo, it sounds a little weird, it sounds a little fluffy, but like it all goes back to nature, right? So I'd encourage you to pay attention to what's going on around you in nature. Another place to start would be to pick one good book and read it all the way through. So if you want to come in and buy 20 books, I'm going to sell you 20 books, but I'm going to encourage you to read them one at a time. So if you are new to paganism, especially Wicca or witchcraft, I have 3 recommendations for you. The first one is Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner by Scott Cunningham. That's a very good introductory book. It's a classic, and it will tell you why you're doing what you're doing, which is very, very important. The second book would be, we affectionately call it Bucky's Big Blue Book. It's Raymond Buckland's Book of Witchcraft. It's a giant book with a blue cover. That's why we call it that. That'll take you a little further down the rabbit hole. And the third book, if you are more of a person that I want to dive head, shoulders, knees, toes into a subject, and it's kind of more of a, I would call it a collegiate level book, like a college level book, I would highly recommend Christopher Penzek's Inner Temple of Witchcraft. It is based on um, we'll put it this way. In order to have very effective rituals and have a very effective spiritual path, you first have to build your inner temple. The output is only as good as the input work that we do. So he's a wonderful man. I know him personally. He writes great, great, wonderful things. So if you're looking for something more collegiate, I would go with The Inner Temple of Witchcraft by Christopher Penzek. Another thing I would also recommend, again, it's going to sound a little woo, a little fluffy, is to encourage you to allow time for reflection. I think this is a very important step that a lot of people skip. Reflection can be, again, just those quiet moments with nature. It can also be just lighting a candle at the beginning of the day. It could be taking a moment to journal about what you've seen, how it's affected you, if you've done a working, what was the result. Also, if you don't track where you started, how do you know how far you've gotten if you don't know where you started, if you don't track where you started? So I'd highly encourage you to keep a spiritual journal of some sort. You may want to start your own personal book of shadows, which is where you record all your workings, because also if you find something that works, you don't want to have to recreate the wheel every time. So those quiet moments of reflection are super, super important. And lastly, I would remind people that your path starts with curiosity and your path grows over time with curiosity. You're not meant to stay in one little box with one little label all of your life. So allow yourself to be curious, allow yourself to kind of experiment with different things to find out what you're really drawn to, what really works for you. And yeah, those are my tips. Those are my tips for people that are new to starting in paganism or Wicca or witchcraft. Yes, they are different. That's a video for another time. But allow yourself to be guided. Yeah, that's what I think my closing statement would be. Allow yourself to be guided. So as always, we thank you for your support. Like, share, subscribe, smash the button, whatever the kids are saying these days. It really helps small independent businesses like us grow. If you are local, we would love for you to come visit. Our address is in the YouTube details above. And of course, if you're not local, join us on Facebook where we go live every day at 11 and we light a candle for the planetary energetic of the day and do some divination work together. So as always, thanks for watching. And as we like to say, blessed be, blessed we, and welcome home. Thanks.